All right,
Just
song's up.
you know people can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you just wanted to sing along in time for reasons.
It's not really even singing along. It's like what I can hear, but it's not what they can hear. That's the fun thing, right? Or is it?
Ah, I have no idea.
Actually, I just assumed my singing along with it would be off, but
You were pretty close.
oh. I guess I'm listening to this. I figured there'd be more of a delay, but my singing versus what I'm hearing on the stream, right?
Yeah, sure. I don't know. It was pretty close. This is what I'm saying.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, I assume that stream delays, if you don't have one set natively, they just grow over time. So at the very start of a stream, if there's any delay, it's very small. I think is how that works.
Right. Yeah, it's about 3 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it might get longer the longer the stream goes on.
Maybe. I don't know.
Quite possibly.
Why,
I don't know either. Science. Well, because it's trying to be live, but it's going to be dropping packets every once in a while.
Sure.
So it has to like do a little bit of catch up, and just over time that adds up to a larger delay.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So I don't know. I don't know how you can fix that, other than restarting the stream.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Happy podcast day, good sir.
Yes, happy podcast day to you too.
We have some things to discuss, I think.
Oh, do we now?
Before I forget about it, I'd like you to tell everybody about your experience talking about the Mormons.
It was an experience.
Okay.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
tell the people what happened. You tried to contact.
Oh, right. So a friend of mine put me in touch with a website that is like, hey, we'll send a missionary to your house. Turns out it's the Church of Latter-day whatever. The name's not important. If it is, it's stupid. But they never got back to me, even though their webpage said, we will respond to your email within 24 hours. They did not. They're a bunch of liars and Judases. So my friend kindly stepped in to fill the gap and do the good Lord's work.
Right. So you have a friend of a friend who is a member of the Mormon Church decided to step in and help you fulfill the terms of your bet.
I'm like 60% sure, because she messaged me on Sunday, well, my Monday, her Sunday, after she got back from church. I'm like, did she seek counsel from an elder about what to do in this situation? And that's when she put her hand up? I don't know. It's possible.
Maybe. Yeah. Here's the thing. Like, one of the slogans of the church is every member a missionary. So ideally, everybody should be able to step in and do what she did with it, like, at any point. That's not true for everyone, obviously, but that is a goal for sure. So I don't know. Maybe she did talk to someone, but maybe she just right off the top of her head, she just went for it.
Maybe.
I watched for about 10 minutes. She knew what she was talking about.
Yeah.
So anyway, yep, he streamed it if you want to watch it. I think the VOD, did you put it on your YouTube channel?
I sure did, where I immediately got a comment from Compassion, who, God bless Compassion, but I think he may have misunderstood some of the points I was making when he said, well, God created the earth, thus Christianity was around before other religions. I'm like, that's quite the take.
I used to think Compassion was 13, but then he has spoken during Among Us sessions, and he sounds like he's about 29.
He's a little older than I would have thought.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, Compassion's a good time. All right. Well, good. I'm glad you got through it.
I survived.
I'm glad. It didn't sound like you came like to. I'm not going to say physical blows because you weren't in the same place, but it didn't come to like super angry, yelling at each other type stuff, which is always a bad thing.
Oh, no. Yeah, yelling at each other solves nothing.
From what I saw.
Yeah. Don't worry, Aki. He'll watch the VOD. Yeah, we called it How to Lose a Friend in 2 hours.
That's pretty good.
And I mean, there are points.
Fair.
Yeah, there are points where it's like I wanted to be a little more confrontational, but because I can only look at something for so long and be like, you refuse to acknowledge that any of this might be wrong, right? Like, we can prove that this didn't happen. like we know it didn't. But just be like, no, I believe that. It's like, okay, if you say so.
Hit me with something. Hit me with one of those things. Go.
A Noah's Ark, right? Like, there could not have been a global flood because there would be evidence of it, right? Like,
right. Okay, but see, then the comeback is, well, maybe it was a localized flood.
No.
And maybe as far as the people in Noah's direct area were concerned, the flood covered everything they knew.
Here's the interesting thing. The Noah's flood is based on an older tale, right? Like, it wasn't invented for the Bible, called the Epic of Gilgamesh, which, depending on where you read that and other local flood stories, the proportions are not so outrageous, right? Like, a local wealthy person put a bunch of animals on his boat, saved them from a flood. Makes sense.
The Epic of Gilgamesh is good stuff. Gilgamesh. Sorry, go ahead. Right.
Yeah. But if I ask someone, do you believe Noah's Ark happened as described in the Bible as being a global flood? And they go, yes. I don't know. How do you tell me a boat landed on top of Mount Ararat and somehow only Australia has koalas? Right.
Fair. Okay. No. We're just discussing terms here.
Yeah. No.
We're good. All right. Cool.
So I had to pull myself back a little bit, just a smidge, but I think we got through it just fine.
I mean, we talked about this a little bit, but that's the whole basis of any religion is belief.
Oh,
it has to come down to, do you want to believe the things these people are teaching you or not? If you don't, you're out, and if you do, you might be in. But that's what it comes down to every time. So,
100%.
Yeah. So if you're talking to someone who has no inclination to believe, then you're not going to succeed in any stretch. It's just...
I was surprised to learn things that I didn't know. Like, apparently, eventually, Mormons get to become gods and then start their own planets.
That's a good one. She didn't bring that up, did she?
Yeah, she did. She made a slideshow for me, right? In, like, Photoshop or something, about describing how we go from being, like, having pre-immortal souls to our mortal bodies to death to spirit prison to
the whole thing,
being, like, in the stars or something.
Yeah. I mean, so this is the whole concept of, like, where were we before we were born and where do we go when we die? That's very standard stuff.
Right.
But it's very rare for that to also include and then the good people become gods of their own universes. That doesn't usually come up because it's weird.
Right.
So, yeah, that's interesting.
That's higher up on the cult-like behavior, I feel.
It's usually not the first date. It's usually after you've been together, then you bring up the whole godhood thing.
No, but I appreciate it.
Just that she goes full send. I respect that.
Yep.
She brings it right up, right away.
Yep. I can't criticize something if I don't understand it. So.
Yeah, I mean, there is so much stuff, though. That's the thing. You have to cherry pick what you talk about with somebody the first time you talk about this, because there's a billion things to talk about.
Right. Like, she described, I don't know if it describes it in the literature. I assume it does, because she described it as, like, the best place to go is, like, the brightness of the sun. And the second best place is the brightness of the moon. And I'm like, but the moon is just a reflection of the sun's sunlight. Isn't that basically the same thing? And then the next best one is the stars. But I'm like, the stars are just suns, but far away.
Did they call you a pedant at that point and tell you to shut up?
No, I didn't bring up that point. It was actually at that point when I was, like, looking at the footage afterwards, because essentially I had a similar argument that I've told on the podcast before with someone who believes in astrology, and our star signs are very important. And I had to explain to her that stars were objects in three-dimensional space, and that if you view them from a different angle, you will see a different picture in the stars. So instead of, like, Orion's belt or the Big Dipper, if you move in 3 dimensions, you won't be able to see that anymore. And that blew her mind, because she just didn't know that the stars were suns.
Did it get her away from astrology? Because that's a belief system.
Yeah, no, it didn't.
I was gonna say, like, it goes both ways. You can't come with somebody who's in a belief system with logic and expect to get them out of it.
Right, no, of course not. Yeah.
Right. That's the trick. Anyway, belief systems, they're very fun. Well, good. I'm glad it was a good experience, ish. I'm glad that no one got super mad and ended a friendship over it. That's cool. Good. So that'll teach you to never again bet on
Beyond
or Morrow, I guess.
Omar, yeah.
Or Morrow, smart.
So TSL's happening. TSL 6.
Yeah, so TSL 6, man, I posted this in the Discord a couple days ago. The losers bracket right now is the following players: Raynor, Rogue, Dark, Maru, Zest, Stats, Solar, and Ragnarok. That's like a final 8 for any premier tournament, entirely possibly.
Yeah.
They're in the losers bracket. This is a packed tournament.
I mean, the more interesting, not that that's uninteresting, but is how they got there as well. Like, Zest lost to Showtime, right?
Yep.
Close games, I believe. It's 3-2. But Maru got 3-0'd by Serral. Yeah, depending on the day, Maru, that makes sense.
Yes.
But depending on the day, it also doesn't. Rogue got 3-1 by Beyond, and Raynor got 3-0'd by Eleza.
That's the more surprising one.
Yeah.
Eleza 3-0ing Raynor, I did not expect at all. He 3-1 Stats and 3-0 Special. Dude, Eleza is on a tear. That's a pretty good 3 series right there. He does play Beyond next, and we'll see if Beyond's TVZ is enough to crush him.
It will be, because he beat Rogue, is my opinion.
Sure, but there's always the wrist issues, right?
Sure, but it's not Eleza. I'm kidding, Eleza.
Eleza's doing great. Doing better than he has in a long time.
Do you want to put a bet on this?
No.
I'll take Beyond.
I'm not betting on a laser. Heaven knows. Under any circumstances.
Wow, that's telling.
Yeah. So anyway, losers bracket is a gauntlet.
Sure is.
Serral Showtime. Showtime did beat Serral at Asus Rogue, like straight up in a series, defeated him.
Yeah.
So he could do it again. I don't know. It feels to me there's been a bit of a shift in the ZVP meta, where it used to be if Zerg gets to late game, they crush Protoss every time. It was unstoppable, right? And now it feels like Protoss has kind of stumbled into these not stumbled, they've worked their butts off trying to figure this out. They've got this late game composition that is just really hard for Zerg to engage with at all. And it's like 8 different units. It's Mothership, Carriers, Void Rays, High Templar, Immortals, Archons, Adepts, and some Zealots. It's like 3/4 of the entire roster for Protoss in this ball. And it's like, you can't quite just bring Corruptors in there to kill the Carriers, because there's Void Rays and Archons and Storm, all those combined to just crush Corruptors. Can't really engage on the ground because the Carriers are crushing everything down there. And if you have some Immortals, some Ultras, the Immortals can hurt those. And it's just, I've seen a bunch of games where it's this late game composition and Zerg's kind of poking and prodding and trying to get in there and take it down, but they can't. It's really interesting.
Yeah. No, I agree with everything you're saying. I just don't have much more to say about it. It's not like I have the key to unlocking Zerg's potential against Protoss.
Yeah, no, definitely. I don't either. It's just, this is what I like. I like the meta changing without balance changes, right?
Well,
the players figuring out how to beat stuff that looks unbeatable.
Right. But
nice.
The problem with that is we're kind of coming across as something that it's like, well, you can't just send Corruptors in, you can't just move ground forces in. We're kind of getting to a point where the answer slowly shifts to being, well, don't let them get there.
Yeah, I always hate that argument.
And you hate that argument, yes.
Every time. Don't let them get this composite. It's unbeatable, so don't ever let them get it. By golly. Like, oh yes, of course. I'll just, prevent an elite Protoss player in Stats from getting there every time. And the other thing, like, this is something that Railgun's complained about, maybe unfairly, but he truly believes that a good Protoss really can't be taken down early because of shield batteries and overcharge. That if you show up as a Zerg player with a big army, like the cannons and shield batteries and the overcharge just combine to make a really unbreakable defense by Zerg with anything less than tier 3. So, and if you're rushing to get there, you're not at tier 3 necessarily. You're Roaches and Hydras and Banelings and stuff. So, I don't know. It's possible. I mean, I have seen some games recently where that's happened, where the Protoss has died before getting to a late game comp against a good Zerg player like Rogue.
Right.
But it's usually because they move out. So, I don't know. It's iffy. Man, there was a great game I cast where, who was it? Zest, I think?
Okay.
He warped in like 8 High Templar at 7:30 and then Storm finished. And I was like, dang, that is a lot of Storm for 7 minutes.
Yes, it is.
Like, I don't know what Rogue's going to do about this. And then Rogue just ate so many Storms and it didn't matter. His macro was nuts.
He just
like there were a couple times he just
about
like stood roaches in the storm and was like, "Go for it. You can have these. I'll still win."
I'll show you why Zerg had the expansion called Heart of the Storm. It's not as Heart of the Storm, but Rogue was feeling punny. Right.
He was at that moment, I think.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's just, I don't know, it's good. I think Protoss fans have some hope. They won the GSL Super Tournament, which is awesome for them. They had a Protoss versus Protoss finals, no less.
Yeah.
That actually makes me wonder, would it feel better as a Protoss fan to beat a Terran or a Zerg in the finals, right? Versus having a PvP finals, which is a little bit like, oh, who am I rooting for here? They're both Protoss, you know?
Don't know. I'm sure it varies from person to person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just trying to put myself back in the shoes when Zerg was terrible, back in Heart of the Swarm, ironically. And I think I'd be a little less stoked about a ZVZ finals in a Premier tournament. It's like, yes, okay, a Zerg won a Premier tournament for the first time in a long time, but they beat another Zerg to get to do it. It would just feel better if you crushed a Terran or a Protoss in that situation, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Feeling, that's all.
Because when it comes down to a mirror, it's like, well, either way, the mirror race wins, right? Like,
yeah,
so yeah, it's not all bad. It's like taking the cherry off the top, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like you're disappointed at the entire outcome. It's just, it's not quite as hype as it could have been. Anyway.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, back to TSL. I'm looking at this bracket and I just don't know. I don't know what to expect with all the upsets in the winner's bracket and all the juggernauts that are in the loser's bracket right now. I can't bring myself to pick anybody at this point.
Who would have thought that TY would lose 3-1 to Ragnarok?
Nobody? What happened to TY?
He lost 3-1 to Ragnarok.
Did he? So he beat Matt. Oh, that's right. Showtime beat him. Dude, he lost 3-1 to Showtime and then 3-1 to Ragnarok to get bumped out of the entire tournament.
Yeah.
What the crap, TY? What happened to you?
He's been doing a lot of casting. That's all.
Caster's curse. Did he win a GSL that he was casting?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Maybe it's catching up to him finally, though.
Right.
I don't know. That's hilarious. Jeez. All right. So that's TSL. We'll come back a little bit later, maybe. Maybe do some bets. This is going to go on forever, isn't it?
No. 4 days, 21st, yeah.
Crap, we do have the final before our next pod.
Yeah.
It just felt like it would take them longer to get through the loser's bracket, but...
No.
All right. Fine. You want to do a bet?
I mean, I take me on. So.
Seriously?
Yeah, I can't give up on him now. He's never let me down.
Wrist thing can pop up at any time.
Okay, you take me on.
I'm not taking Beyond. Here's the thing. I don't feel great about anybody. Like, I would normally be like, Cyril, but he's looked pretty mortal the last 2 months or so.
It's true. Take Showtime, though.
Actually, I don't want to take Showtime. Has Showtime ever won a Premier tournament his entire life?
That is an excellent question. I do not know.
I'm going to look it up. Tobias. I love you, Showtime. I do. Okay. 2016 WCS Spring Circuit Championship.
4 years
First
ago.
place. Yes. So 4 years ago, he did take a WCS Circuit Premier Tournament with no Koreans in it. Just kidding. I lied. Wait. I forget Polt. Polt doesn't count. Polt is an honorary foreigner.
Right.
Really?
Who do you beat? Nochio?
Yeah, he 4-3'd Nurchio, he 3-0'd Masa, he 3-0'd Violet, 3-2'd Guru, and he 3-2'd sort of. So, I mean, it's nice. But it's kind of pre-come up of the EU, you know what I mean?
Faux show. Yeah.
Yeah. It's before Raynor and Clemens Cyril started their reigns of terror.
Mm-hmm.
So... Anyway, I just don't see it happening with Showtime, so I'm not choosing him.
Okay.
But then again, the losers bracket, again, bloodbath. anybody you pick in there is like, well, they're gonna go up against someone real scary very soon.
It's true.
Let's see, if I pick Raynor, he's got to beat Ragnarok. Oh, he's got to do 2 ZVZs in a row.
And he got there by playing a ZVZ as well.
Yeah.
And if Beyond wins, he'll have to do a 3rd ZVZ.
Oh, maybe that's good for him. He doesn't have to change his mindset at all. He's just like ZVT, ZVT, ZVT. Stays focused, you know?
Maybe. But then again, the more ZVZs he does in a row, people know what he does in that matchup, and yet work to undermine it, right? The more builds you show of a certain matchup, the worse your chances are.
I guess. But Beyond's never been about tricking people. You know what Beyond's going to do.
I'm not talking about Beyond, I'm talking about Raynor. Because Beyond's got to win, what is it, like 3 games, and he, well, not 3 games, 3 matches, and he wins the entire thing. Raynor, his next 3 matches could all be ZVZ. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
All right.
Actually, round 5, match 1. What is that? Well, but do you see where it says the winner of the losers round 3 plays against R5M1?
Oh, yeah, so...
What is that?
That's Showtime Cyril. So if...
Oh, okay.
If Showtime beats Cyril, whoever wins out of Raynor, Rogue, and Dark will have to play against Cyril.
Cyril. So it could be a Protoss if Showtime loses.
It could be.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I was looking at the wrong one. Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, that's just rough.
Lots of Zergs.
Lots of Zergs. But I mean, then you got Maru. If he beats Solar, he's got to play the winner of Zester Stats, which is rough.
It's true. Don't pick anyone there.
I can't. I don't like any of this.
I mean, they're all the same players that we've always been picking with, right? Like,
I know, but they're all at different points in their careers, and there's all stuff that I don't feel super confident about for all of them.
I get that.
Like, Raynor absolutely will beat Cyril, but I don't feel great about him beating anybody else. He can, but he focuses so much on beating Cyril that it's like, dude, figure out another matchup a little better, maybe. I don't know. Maybe watch a couple of laser games, apparently. That would have helped.
Yeah.
But then again, ZVZ is such a dumb matchup that if I pick Rogue, it's like, okay, he's got to beat Dark in a ZVZ, and then he's got to beat Raynor in a ZVZ, which I think he can beat Raynor in a ZVZ. I think unless Raynor's ability to play against Korean Zergs is heavily improved.
Since last year.
Since last BlizzCon? Yeah. Where he was completely outmatched.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. At this point, I would probably feel best about taking Rogue. Fully cognizant of the ZVZ Clown Fiesta he's going to have to play.
Right. Didn't sound like you're confident on anyone there.
No, sure doesn't.
Nope.
No.
Oh,
so
well.
what are you saying? Do you just want to abstain or what?
I mean, I'm happy to take Beyond.
So you're going to take Beyond? Okay.
But I mean, this only matters if you're, not gonna check it out and actually put up some terms. So.
Wow. I believe we most recently put up some terms.
Yeah, but I had to basically give you a freebie to talk you into it, though.
Wait, what? A freebie?
Yeah, like there's a 0% chance I'll ever get to collect on my side if I had won, right?
On your what?
If I had won last time, right? Do you remember what I would have gotten?
Wasn't it more Halo?
No.
No, I don't remember then.
Exactly, which is my point, because it was so bland and inoffensive and inharmful that you stand basically no risk of losing nothing if I had won.
What was it?
If you don't remember, it's not my job to remind you. Like it's just more evidence to my point that you had basically a free shot because you were like, I always lose, where, and so I had to entice you in a little bit.
All right.
And I mean, you still haven't picked a player either.
No, I'll pick Rogue.
You pick Rogue, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Seems
I feel best about him.
Okay. I mean, I feel like picking from the losers bracket is a rough go of it because they have to play more matches. But if that's what you want to do,
I agree.
All right.
I mean, do you want to give me a handicap since I'm picking from the losers bracket?
No, of course not. No.
You want it to be like Rogue gets a free game?
No.
Oh, all right.
Because then we could draw.
Could. It's true.
Also, I mean, hold on. Is he one bracket behind at the moment or two? Like loses round 2, but Beyond is in what, 4? Round 4. So does he need to win 2 matches just to at least get to where Beyond is now?
Seems so.
That's a really bad bet.
That's what I'm saying. Give me a handicap.
No. Like
here,
what? Like if you're
my problem with Cyril is that there have been a bunch of games of his recently where he just doesn't look right.
Mm-hmm.
Like he does some dumb stuff and then leaves the game early, and it's like, what's going on?
Dunno. I mean, if you don't feel I can't think of a decent handicap to give you to make that fair, though. Is my thoughts at the moment. Like picking it. This is why I don't like losers brackets. Don't do them. Just make every game at the playoffs, like at round of 32, everything is like a best of 7.
Yeah. I hate losers brackets.
The broadcast will go for 90 hours, but that's fine.
Fair. All right, fine. I'll pick Cyril. Jeez.
You don't have to pick Cyril.
It's fine. I mean, he probably has as good a chance to make it to the final as Rogue does.
Sure. It's going to be great if Rogue wins this.
I know. That'd be incredible. I'll be so mad. Such anger.
Much anger.
Yeah. Kind of want to watch Cyril versus Morrow before we take this bet. Can I watch the VOD real fast? I'm just kidding.
I mean, sure, go for it. I don't mind.
Do they have a YouTube channel, or is it VODs on Twitch, which I hate?
VODs should be on YouTube. I don't know. Could be VODs on Twitch, but I don't think they live there forever.
No. Does TSL have spoiler-free VODs on sc2links.com? Where are those hosted?
It looks like they're on StarCraft 2, the YouTube channel.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm seeing TSL 6, Cyril versus Sol. Did he verse Sol earlier today? Yep. Well, not today, like a week ago, because the VODs are a week old. But yeah, they're on YouTube. I don't know if they're all the games.
What's the channel name?
It's just called StarCraft 2.
Link it to me.
Sure.
Because there's a youtube.com/StarCraft.
Nah.
Last uploaded 3 months ago with War Chest Team League.
No. I don't know if this is like official VODs, but they've got some. It's weird because it's an odd mix of like.
They have 2,000 subscribers, Omicron. This is clearly stolen footage. Okay.
I didn't say it wasn't. Right? Because I just searched for TSL VOD, and that's what it gave me. And then when I clicked on all the videos, I'm like, that also has GSL VODs from the Super Tournament that just went past. But why? Who are the, like, why does Trap versus TY have nearly 600 views here? It's like, what benefit is it watching it here over on the Africa channel?
People hate switching platforms. They'd rather watch it on YouTube at some janky channel than
the VOD.
Somewhere
the
else.
VOD is on Africa's YouTube channel.
Oh,
because they also stream to YouTube, not just Africa.
Yeah. Good point. Then I don't know. I don't see this Cyril versus Maru series we're talking about.
I did not say they had all the VODs.
Oh. Well, then I'll go back to SE2 links because they have at least direct links to the Twitch VODs.
You haven't casted these games yet? Come on.
The replays aren't released. It's not over yet. Leave me alone. Let's see. Were they round of...
I found what looks like a highlights video, unless they did an entire best of 3 in 15 minutes.
Which entirely possible, honestly.
Nah, there's usually breaks in between games. Weird. VODs must be on Twitch.
Yeah, no, they are. And the SC2links.com has direct embedded links to the VODs on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know that it has all of it.
Weird. What the
I don't know.
hell is that?
It's all... It only goes... Winners quarterfinals. Oh, here we go. Match 2, Maru versus Cyril. Okay. See, I clicked that, and the thumbnail shows Showtime versus Zest. So it threw me off, but they do have it here.
Ah.
Well, and then there's Bjorn and Rogan here, too. So it's... it's Twitch VODs time-stamped with where the particular series starts.
Uh-huh.
Because it's an 8-hour VOD.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. Okay. So let's see. Cyril won with Lurkers and Hydras in game 1. Okay, that's promising. And if we scroll forward a bit, it's a Lingbane Mutalisk kind of a deal against traditional Thors and Marines and Marauders. It's got a couple Ultras in there. All right. And then in game 3, this is riveting podcast stuff.
Oh, it sure is. Did you know that Maru and Cyril have only met 4 times?
I believe it. There's always hype whenever it happens.
It's true.
Because it's so rare.
Cyril has bested Maru 4 times out of 3. 4 times to 1, I should say. Well, 4 times out of 3, that doesn't make any sense.
No, it did not.
No.
Okay,
they met twice in 2018 and twice in 2020. They did not meet last year at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then he won with Broodlords in game 3. What the heck? You never win with Broodlords in 2020. Dude, it's Infestors and Broodlords. What year is it?
Festa Broodlord, good times.
Maxed out to maxed out. This wasn't even like Cyril showed up when Maru had 100 supply, right?
Right.
So this is Maru's got a giant, scary marine tank ghost army, and Cyril wins anyway. What the heck?
Is what it is.
There are no Vikings, though. I think Maru got caught by surprise. That explains a lot. All right, cool. Fine, we'll go Cyril. Done.
Alrighty then.
All right. Finished.
Yeah. Haha, I get it, because you picked Cyril. Finished. Good one. Alright. Let's move on. For the moment.
Okay. Akudama Drive.
No.
Dang it. What?
First, I would like to talk about Attack on Titan.
Oh, are you caught up?
I watched 62 episodes in the last 7 days.
Oh my gosh! Holy crap! That is an experience of a binge, I bet.
Yes. It's
I remember there being episodes where I just like had to process it for a couple days. So you just like kept moving. That's crazy.
yeah, it's the best way to do it. Characters don't get a couple days to experience watching their friends get brutally eaten by monsters. Why should you?
Yeah, but you're watching like I don't know how many a day, like 10 a day.
More than.
There's years between seasons.
Technically speaking, there were 3 days I didn't watch any episodes. So I did it all in 4 days. And one of those days, I think I only watched 5 episodes. So really, I did 57 episodes in 3 days.
Packed.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? It's all right. It's a good show.
It's good. I like it a lot. I think Attack on Titan's very well done.
I mean, the good thing about binging is I can kind of look at it. I can kind of hold all the earlier stuff in my mind a little bit better. And there's some stuff that to me doesn't make enough sense, in my opinion. Like the Beast Titan, he's clearly got an ability to turn people into Titans, right? And they were like coming to the island to like capture the coordinates or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But their plan really doesn't make any sense because it's like, oh, we're just going to come in, break in one of the walls, and then hide in the military? And he was just like hanging out for a while. Like, what was he doing for years at a time? Right? No, right. Not Rhino. Zeke. The Beast Titan.
Zeke was in the military?
No, he wasn't. He was just hanging out while Reiner and Berthold and Annie were just like hanging out, right? Like obviously, they wanted Annie wanted to like infiltrate the military police and be like trying to find some information, right? Like her kind of the plan, her part of the plan kind of makes sense, but then it just like the rest of it kind of doesn't. Like what was Zeke doing for years at a time? Just hanging out, doing nothing.
Well, it's not years, though. Did you watch the most recent episodes from this season that just released?
I've seen 2 episodes from the newest season.
Because it talks about, spoiler alert for the most recent episodes of Attack on Titan, but talks about how Zeke has a year left.
Yeah.
Got 1 year to do
this. No. So when Berthold and Reiner came over to the island, right, with the attempts to infiltrate it, they were all on the same plan as Zeke, so Zeke came over at the same time, but from the Colossal Titan kicking in the wall, it's literally like a 2-year time span because Eren, Mikasa, and Arwen all go through like boot camp cadets, and then the attack on Trust happens. That's a 2-year time span. Where just nothing, right. They were doing nothing. Like where Zeke was doing nothing, just hanging out on the island.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll get into that at all. That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And there's also, like, I guess they kind of explain this, but they clearly say that if someone with the Titan powers dies without passing it on, a random person inherits it, right? But there's a population of people living on the island, which is the majority, and there's a couple of them in that concentration camp with the, like, pseudo-Nazis, right?
I mean, yeah. Pseudo kind of downplays how Nazis they are, but yeah.
Right. Well, see, the pseudo are foe, and I didn't really know which one would be more appropriate. But if you just killed everyone living on the island, then the powers must inherit to someone living in the concentration camp. Solved your problem, the end. Just go in there and kill literally everyone. Come over, kick in one wall, kick in the next, kick in the next. You're done in a day. Right? Like,
yeah.
How is that not the plan?
I don't know, man.
All right. Cool.
Well, part of the problem here, too, is that these are Eldians, right? Being tasked with defeating their own people.
Mm-hmm.
So they've been brainwashed, but part of it is it's either that or die, right?
Yeah, no. I mean, I
So
understand.
maybe their heart's not into it. Maybe they don't really have a good plan because they don't really want to succeed.
I mean, sure, but there's like that undermines the entire brainwashing aspect of the entire show, right? It's like, oh, these people have been brainwashed. You know, they've indoctrinated into believing that the city-state where they live is right, and we have to atone for the sins of our ancestors, etc., all that rhetoric. But then they just don't anyway. It's like, okay, so all that doesn't matter then, right?
Yeah, I mean, you have this scene when they're in the train, right?
Uh,
And little dude is like, I don't want to be.
oh, right,
I don't
yeah.
want to do this. It gives you a death sentence, effectively, right?
Yeah, well, he doesn't want to have the Gabby do it, right? Because she'll live to be 25, and that's okay. And it's quite clear that the rest of them, Ryan is like, "What did you say?" And he's like, then he's like, kind of agrees with him at the end.
Yeah,
he's like forcing him
to. We're gonna save her from this fate,
right? Like, yeah, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. So loudly and publicly they are brainwashed. But in their private conversations, not as much, right?
Right, but if, like, once they're on the island and they're Titans, they have Titan powers, there's no reason to do any of the stuff they did. If they were like, publicly, we shouldn't be doing this, but privately, let's continue it anyway.
Well, unless there's other Marlians with them that are reporting on some stuff. Like, maybe they can report on they knocked the wall down. Like, they're not close enough to see exactly what's going on.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
I
have to put some semblance of a fight up, otherwise they're all in trouble.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. I just felt like it was weak storytelling a little. I mean, overall,
I think you're right. I think if the Titans were dedicated and smart, then they win,
right?
For sure. Yeah.
But obviously, like, characters who think about things properly, you wouldn't have a show. To some extent, right?
I mean, I don't know. I always say good storytelling, your characters can be smart and still have to be good storytelling. It's harder. But it is easier to tell a story if your characters aren't smart about decision making. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that Aaron stopped yelling so much. The first 2 seasons, I feel like he just yells all the time. It's like, shut up, kid.
I feel like the first
still yelling.
I feel like the first 2.5 seasons are trying to play keep away with Aaron, like keep away, and then it's just the 2 times throwing Aaron back and forth, right? Like that's all the show is. But yeah, I mean, there was some stuff that was set up that I was like, oh, that's neat to find that out. Like, I think it's in the first season when they recapture Trost, and they find Marco's dead body, and they're like, no idea how he died, but that's sad. And then in like second half of season 3, they're like, oh yeah, he was killed by Reiner and Bertold and Annie. Yeah, because they were just standing around talking about how they're Titans.
And someone stumbled upon them. Hate it when that happens.
If only you could scheme more publicly, you know?
Yeah. So good. Yeah, and then like, is it season 3, right? The last full season was season 3. There's just such an info dump where it's like, all right, here's a ton of backstory. Here's all this stuff about Historia and all about where the Titans come from and how the powers are inherited and all this stuff. And it's like, whoa, it's such an info dump. I'm not sure I fully processed all of it at this point.
Fair enough.
Anyway.
Yeah. Good show.
Yeah. Good stuff. It's real nice. Season 4, they're like, and now it's World War II.
Basically, yeah.
Well, you've been watching people fight with swords and cannons, but now landmines and machine guns exist. Enjoy.
And helicarriers. Blimps.
Yeah.
Zeppelins, yeah.
Yeah, Zeppelins. And no man's lands, where if you try to cross between these trenches, you die. Because machine guns are a thing now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the whole aspect of like the Titans are basically the nukes of their era, right? Titans mean you win. But then they're getting outstripped. Like, suddenly there are these weapons that can defeat the Titans. And it's changing. The world's changing around these guys.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So they say they have to get the Founding Titan to prevent this from happening. I can't remember what the Founding Titan is all about. Do you remember, since you recently watched it?
The Founding Titan is all about the ability to control Titans.
So who is it? Who has the Founding Titan?
Oh, Aaron does.
That's Aaron. Okay.
Yeah. Technically, I think he has two Titans.
What do they call him? Yeah.
Here's the Attack Titan and possibly the Founding Titan.
How both? I don't understand that part of it.
I don't know. So, Aaron's dad, when he was supposed to be killed and dumped on the island in Paradise, which is amusing, the owl, who was like a mole for the restorationists, who was also secretly a Titan, gave him the Attack Titan and told him, look, you need to try and like break the cycle of people killing each other and all this being shit. He then goes and eats the person who was the Founding Titan. So at that point, he should have both. He then gets Aaron to eat him, so Aaron should have both.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so he's Attack Titan and Founding Titan.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. Yeah. I believe so.
Yeah. Fair enough. Cool. So Aaron is the key to all of the things.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
All right, so you wanted to talk Akudama Drive?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, what was I gonna say? People are dying?
Yeah.
Yes, more people are dying. This show is not afraid to kill off main characters.
Yeah, we had 2 this time round.
Yeah, I like that Doctor died because she got trampled to death by the people.
Right. Like the thing the thing that she wanted most was control over everything around her. Yeah. But it was just like the basic actions of people that killed her.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's a poetic death. Very smart. I liked it.
Mm-hmm,
and that hoodlum took her down too was great.
Oh yeah.
Good old hoodlum. Got an honorable death. I don't know that he was ever interested in that, but he sure got manipulated into it anyway. By that swindler and her silver tongue.
Yeah, it's true. She was
she's
very convincing.
She's becoming what people think she is.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Also, the train opened up and let people come on.
Yes! I was going to say, that's the big thing. They're like, let us in. And I'm like, the train's not going to let you in, stupids. And then the doors open. Like, it doesn't open. It, like,
materializes. Yeah.
Yeah. And then everybody rushes in. And I was like, oh, I do remember there's seating in there. I was like, and then, who says it? That's the original purpose of the train, was to this.
Was it Bunny and Shark?
It was Bunny and Shark. I love Bunny and Shark. I was sad we weren't going to get any, but then they showed up at the end. That was good. Yeah. What's the final line? Kanto is, and then it cut. Is that what it was?
I think so. Something like that.
Yeah. This was the original purpose of the train, to get people to Kanto, and Kanto is burn.
Right.
Cut. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I can't imagine where we're going with this. It's pretty good though. I'm on board with it.
Yeah. 2 episodes left. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be excellent. I mean, like what? Kanto is where people go to be processed into electricity. You know what I mean? Like, what's a horrific
Kanto ending? Is the Matrix.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Kansai is the Matrix, right? And then Kanto is like the real world.
I mean, maybe, but
like, for as bad as they think it is in Kansai, it's better than how it is out there.
Right. I don't know, because there's clearly some like people that can talk from Kanto to Kansai. It's like the people instructing the executioners. Yeah,
but they're almost like robots. They're not even really people, are they?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know if it's the science, like the technology makes them appear to be as gods mixed with the culture, or if they are cybernetic algorithm programmed AI people, and that's why they appear that way, right?
Right.
So
yeah, I don't know.
Who knows? Hopefully they can nail the landing. Yep.
else. Hacker needs to come back. We expect him to show up again for sure.
Yeah. I expect him to be around doing something.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he was the one that was on the train, right? And he was like, I will get the train to open up.
Oh, maybe. So
Because
maybe the train is intended to do this, but it's not supposed to right now.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's being packed. Because
it kind of doesn't make sense why people were able to get into the station anyway, right? Like,
yeah.
But an elite hacker might have been able to get them there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Shark and Bunny are like, you ever wonder how all those people got past all the security in the train station? Good stuff. I was annoyed when the doctor did the needle in the heart thing with the executioner.
Uh-huh.
Where it's like, you can't kill me because I'm a citizen. It's like, you are directly threatening to murder an executioner. I think that should fit within what can executioners do.
It
makes it sound like they can't do anything but execute Akudama. Nothing else within their purview is capable.
That is correct. That is all they can do. Yeah, that is.
They can't defend themselves. If regular citizens are shooting them in the head, they can't be like, well, I guess we die then.
They can attempt to avoid injury, I'm sure, but it's not within their rights to fight back. And fighting back, how do you stop someone who's got a needle in your heart? And if you fight back, you kill them. All right, like, what do you do there?
I don't. But she just basically put a live grenade in the mouth of one of your friends, right?
But you can't kill her. Because neither of you are cops.
Like, your buddy's dead anyway. I would just kill her regardless. Like, why give her what she wants in that situation? How's that going to end well for you?
Right?
I'm just saying, as an executioner, you're like, okay, so here's the deal. I do what this crazy person wants, and my friend here dies, and I probably die too.
But maybe you get
I kill her and I get fired.
Well, no, or you kill her, get labeled an Akudama, and then killed yourself.
I don't know. The Akudama you've been chasing for a while seem to be doing all right for themselves.
Right,
but it's not as bad.
Right, but you literally killed some of their best friends. They're not going to, like, let you tag along.
I don't know. I'm not saying you're friends with them, but you can survive. Get a lightsaber, for heaven's sakes. You'll be all right.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Anyways. The arc. Like, her arc, the previous mentee, now mentor arc, she's pretty good, I think.
Yeah, I like her. It's pretty simple. Like, it's very cut and dry, but it does it very well. Very well.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, I could totally just do a one-season thing and be done with it, and I'd be pretty happy with it, I think.
A Decadence kind of experience.
Yeah. Man, Decadence was good.
It was good.
I liked it a lot. Okay, so just backing up a little bit. The train goes to Kanto.
Kanto.
I cannot keep these. Kanto. But what they say is any living matter gets destroyed.
Yes.
When it goes through the whatever field, right?
Yeah, yes.
So either everyone on the train is going to get destroyed, or they have a way to turn this thing off, where it's like, most of the time, any living thing that passes through this gets destroyed. But if we want to, we can make it a totally healthy, safe train ride.
Yes.
Okay. So if hackers set this up, then Kanto is probably not willing to shut down the field, if they can anyway.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fun. Yeah.
If I had to guess, yes.
Yeah. Crazy. All right, we'll see what happens.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about this a lot, but did you see my tweet about the girl with the dragon tattoo?
No.
So I wanted to watch The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo because it's a David Fincher directed movie that I haven't seen. So I go to Amazon Prime and I'm like, I want to watch this movie. And like, here it is. And I was like, okay. So I start watching it and it's like, it's in Swedish. And I was like, huh. I remember hearing this show is in Swedish. That's interesting. All right. So it's got subtitles and everything. And I keep waiting for Daniel Craig to show up because I know he's in the film, but not much else. And he never shows up. And I'm like, hold on a second. And then I found out it was a book that was originally made into a Swedish language movie with Swedish actors like 10, 15 years ago. And then it got remade by David Fincher and Daniel Craig.
So you got the wrong one. You got the wrong one.
So I rented the wrong one. It was still really good. It's a really good, interesting story. It was awesome. But like, now do I need to watch the English version with David Fincher? The whole reason I wanted to do this in the first place. I wonder how much they changed the story, if any.
I've no idea. All I remember about this movie is that stuff happens that was uncomfortable to watch, right? Like, I don't really know what else to put.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I mean, there needs to be a warning sticker on this movie. There will be things that will make you very uncomfortable to watch and possibly make you want to turn it off. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I guess well, not the one thing, but there's one thing in there where this dude, I don't know, it's a whole abuse of power structure thing, but this dude rapes a 20-year-old girl, right?
Right.
But then, like, he just lets her go? And then bad things happen to him because he did this? And it's like, what did you think would happen after you did this terrible, terrible, heinous act? He didn't, like, try to cover it up or hide or anything. I don't know what he was thinking.
I don't know how it just portrays it in the version you saw, but from what I remember, it's like she was dependent on him for money.
Yeah.
Right? And so he expected her to just be subservient in the relationship, and if she wanted the money which she needed, she would just put up with it.
Then she'd keep her mouth shut.
Right.
But he keeps mentioning, at least in the Swedish version, he keeps mentioning how she was in a psych ward for violent and disturbed behavior. Mm-hmm. It's like, you're going to poke that bear? You're going to choose this person who's in a psych ward for doing incredibly violent things as a child, and just hope it doesn't come back on you. All right, good luck with that, bud. It was just a really poor life choice, I thought.
Yeah.
For many, many reasons.
Yes.
Yeah. All the way down, just poor choices.
Poor choices.
Top to bottom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was just a fun experience.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of words in Swedish that basically sound like English.
Yeah, like what?
Like brother and sister are basically the English versions.
Yeah.
Welcome is välkommen. Like, there's a bunch of things in there where it sound like gibberish, and then a word that made sense would pop in to the middle of the sentence, and then it'd keep going with gibberish.
Kind of like,
which is funny that way.
Kind of like all the loan words in Japanese. You'll be listening. You'll be watching. I was watching Attack on Titan, and it was like, "Oh my husky ni wa Nihongo perfect game."
Yes, those are my favorite. In anime especially, it always makes me laugh when those pop up. Like, we talked about this, rock and roll, last week.
Yeah. Describe. Yeah.
Perfect game. It's like, do you really not have the concept for perfect game in Japanese? What is going on? Why? Why is that in English?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's American cinema. I blame movies, basically.
I mean, maybe. Maybe they ought to blame.
Maybe. All right, cool. I think that is time.
Yeah, I think so.
Excellent. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out with us for another edition of the Falcon Paladin Hour. Go ahead. You can check out the Patreon page for the podcast itself in the show notes. Also, check out the merch at falconpaladin.store. We have a couple new shirts in stock there. And if you want to watch us live, we're doing this on Twitch at twitch.tv/Somicron every Tuesday night in the U.S. at 11 p.m. Eastern, or, Wednesday
1 p.m.
if you're in Australia.
1 p.m. on a Wednesday. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're in that hemisphere, it's more in the next day. But
yeah, if you're in the good hemisphere. Yeah.
The good hemisphere. Wow. Just insulted an entire hemisphere. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
That's what they get for being in the West Hemisphere.
True. It's our own darn fault.
Yep.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for hanging out. Stay safe and stay healthy out there. Have a happy holiday. And Hucky says meh. Till next time, please take care of yourselves. Goodbye.
Bye.